Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Unlocking Your Superpower. I'm your host, Michelle Mehta, with my co host,
Veronica Joseph.
and we are here to talk to you about discovering your life purpose and why that is so important for all of us to understand. It doesn't matter if you are 5 years old or if you are 80 plus years old. Having that life purpose and having that North Star guiding your every single path, professionally and personally, can definitely inspire you. So that's what we're going to talk about. Are you guys excited? Because I am definitely excited. Veronica, are you excited?
I am happy and
Yay!
excited.
Perfect. So let's go ahead and let's get started.
So, Michelle, why do you think knowing your soul purpose is important?
I think that's what gets me up every morning. It's the thing that motivates me to get out of bed. I'm a night owl, so being a morning person is challenging at times. And having that purpose of being that ray of hope for the community that I reside in. I've discovered this soul purpose, life purpose when I was in a coaching class in 2015. And I realized at that moment, we had to discover our purpose using a meditative exercise. And at that time, I had called upon Ariana Huffington, who was the former CEO of Huffington Post.
Mhm.
And so she had come down and given me this guidance of, Michelle, you are the ray of hope for the community that you reside in. And ever since that, I started thinking more about how can I inspire more people? How can I leave them better than I find them? What type of energy can I bring to the table? And it goes along with lines with the like being the change I wish to see in the world. That's a Mahatma Gandhi quote. And having that ability to be different and own that uniqueness, right? All of our fingerprints are so unique and they all have their own power. So why not use that in our own way? And so just having that awareness about 9 years ago helped me realize this is how I want to become a coach. This was like the anchor for me to start thinking about developing a coaching business. So that's what gets me excited every morning is how can I help somebody else? How can I inspire somebody else? So what about you, Veronica? What is your life purpose? What is your soul purpose?
Actually, like what you said, that also motivates me and get me excited to wake up in the morning. Having a sense of purpose in life gives meaningful to the day to day that I have an intention that I have to create and to serve others the best I can. And that is my sole purpose is to help others,
Yes.
to be able to master um, my life. It's about self mastery for me.
Yeah,
Contribute
absolutely.
and also to create impact, to make a change to the world. Because if I can help change myself, I could possibly help others to change and reach their highest potential. So basically, it's also for self growth and evolution, and it helps me um, more bring clarity in my mind that I have the direction and I can make choices that is aligned to my soul purpose and be true to myself, to the values that I have, and also feel peaceful and contented and fulfilled. And I think that's very important to me.
I love that. And do you have any modalities that you use to support yourself or support others in this process?
So the universal rays is actually consist of soul chart reading and universal rays healing. So the client chooses the cards and the cards determine where they are in their journey and the consciousness that they're in to self mastery. It helps them find out what their soul mission is, why they're here, the unresolved karma or energy that limits their potential, as well as it also helps the ego to align with their soul mission and helps the client to focus on what they need, the soul and the ego need to focus on to manifest their soul mission. and as well as the supporting consciousness or rays that will help the ego, the mental, the emotional, the spiritual to work together to manifest their soul purpose, and also helps them to clear the resistance and unresolved energy that limits their potential, so that they can the the soul will be able to grow and to evolve. And the second part is the universal rays healing. So universal rays are not colored lights. They are consciousness or principles of creation energy that vibrates in a very high frequency. They're plasmic, fluid, pure light that only exists in the space. And as a certified practitioner, we channel the consciousness or the principle of creation energy of the universal rays. Now, it is very transformational process, because it works not only on the chakras with 19 chakras, 14 meridians, and 12 energy bodies. So it's very profound. The universal rays pretty much help shift the awareness of the client, so that it can help them improve their clarity of mind, and also they're able to realign with their divine purpose and help gain self-mastery, as well as it helps clear the resistance and the unresolved energy that they have created that limits them in their potential. And not only that, it also helps bring transformation, because it helps shift their awareness or consciousness in all levels: the physical, the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual, that helps them bring healing and peace and joy within them.
I love that, and I have been a recipient of universal rays.
So, how did you feel? I mean, what kind of change did you notice with universal rays healing?
I think for me, it was opening up the emotion side of my life because, growing up, when you cry easily, right? When I used to cry, and I used to cry in like every movie, every sad movie, or if someone passed away or someone's leaving my house after a vacation, I'd be like the first one to burst into tears, right? So there was a label of like, oh, Michelle's really weak because she's always crying. And it gave me the nickname of like crybaby. Working with you, Veronica, and specifically with the universal rays modality, what I realized is that having the awareness about why the emotions are actually happening, right? Because emotions are just energy in motion. And it's just there's negative and positive energy that's going through us, right? Negative energy is anger, frustration, sadness, right? Positivity is happiness, joy, love, right? So just having that balance and having that awareness of blending the both of them, right? Coming from a place of love versus coming from a place of fear. And so having the universal rays in part of me, like we just had a session, like a couple days ago,
Yeah.
and it made me realize like how much more grounded we become when we call upon other entities, when we call upon other, beings, spiritual beings, and really just getting clear of our soul is pure.
Right.
But there's so many layers of belief systems that may not even be ours. And our sole purpose comes back down to knowing who you are at the center, right? Having the core of Mother Nature come to us, having like the supreme beings, the supreme light come above us, right? So we're getting the Mother Earth from the ground, we're getting the supreme being powers from the top, and it's blending both of us to really be anchored on who we're supposed to be.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So having that like divine beings or having that source of light has really helped me feel more grounded because there's so much times when we're undergoing a lot of stress that we don't even know that we're holding on to. So
Right.
universal rays releases that stress. It releases the grip on the things that no longer serve us.
Right.
And if
And
you're not really sure what that is, you need to have a session with Dr. Joseph. I mean, You need to book that call immediately because let go of that stress. We are programmed to find stress, right? As humans in this society, we are chasing stress because that's what keeps us going.
Right, and you got like in earlier episode, we talked about the triggers, and
Yes,
actually the triggers could be program or beliefs that are inherited, and it's also possibility that that existed on your previous lifetimes. So you're
exactly.
bringing this unresolved energy, and they're held in your energy bodies. And one of the things that the consciousness of universal race is to be able to release that resistance that limits you on expressing your true self as a divine being, right? And
Right.
also shift your awareness, your consciousness. So in your everyday life, whatever hits you, you become more conscious of what's happening and why it's happening and how you're going to address that, so it's really profound and very helpful for me and also for other people because I can notice the difference in their perspective is changing, and it's easier for them to understand what's happening, what's going on to their journey, and why they're experiencing uh, this situation that they're on right now. So the way they look at it changes, and so when that happen, that transformation happens when there is a shift in their consciousness.
Absolutely. And that shift comes from knowing your values, right? One of the things about life purpose, like what do you really believe in? What are the things that are triggering you? Because when you're triggered, means there's something inside of you that's not in alignment. Some of my core values came from when I was in the dating space,
Hmm.
right? And a guy would be like, I'm gonna call you tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes and I never hear from him. And then all of a sudden I'm going, why am I upset? Why am I upset the fact that he didn't call me? Well, because he's out of integrity. Oh, that might be one of my core values,
Right.
right? Or someone's like, their biggest accomplishment of the day is I did a load of laundry today. They
Mhm.
didn't go to work. They didn't, they just were like, I did a load of laundry today. That's my biggest accomplishment. And I'm like, why does that make me feel weird? Right? Why is that like not motivating me? Well, because one of my core values might be ambitious or being, following the ambitious path. So it's just helping me understand like what do I believe in? What do I stand for? And that's what our values come from. And our values are based on our own belief systems around that. When I say, someone's like, oh, you value family orientedness, it
Right.
might be very different from the way you view family orientedness versus the way I view it, right? So these are all have our own meanings to it based on our own life experiences.
And also, as far as the values are concerned, you started identifying, are those values came from a limiting belief, or is it like your true value as a divine being? Is it like your divine truth, or it's something that you inherited, or it's something that is programmed onto you? So you
Right.
become more expanded on your awareness.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where, you have to working with the professional, working with somebody outside of yourself, right? A lot of people, I'll just watch a YouTube video, or I'll just read the book and I'll discover it. But having that dialogue, engaging with somebody that knows, how to find values or how to find your divine power helps you realize who you're meant to be. And so it's really important to really seek out that professional help, right? Because that's why, this world created energy healers and psychic mediums and coaches and psychologists and therapists because it's an avenue for us to think outside of ourselves and really bring light into our blind spots.
Mhm. So with the universal rays, there are like five angels that are helping, as well as the gatekeepers, like 12 ascended masters that govern each ray of consciousness. So we're basically co-creating in
Right.
allowing and surrendering to them and just channeling the consciousness of the rays, right? So, I mean, it's really very transformational, and very deep healing because it really works on the different layers and levels of your being.
Absolutely. So, if and that's what I also feel like when I think about universal rays, or I even think about like the soul purpose, it's really sitting down with yourself in a quiet meditative state, right? When you're closing your eyes and you're just sitting still and you're focusing on your breathing,
Right.
right? Because at that point, you will start feeling how your body actually feels like. You will start feeling the stress. You'll start feeling like the openness. You'll start listening to the way your heart beats. And
Right.
by having that alignment, especially with, taking a life breath, right? I don't know if you know what a life breath is, Veronica, but it's basically you inhale for four, a count of four, you hold for a count of four, you exhale for a count of four, and then you hold for a count of four. And when you do that over and over and over again, you're basically doing a deep belly breathing, because we're so trained to breathe from like part of our, like from the top of our lungs. And so universal rays also tells us to calm down
Right.
and to pause and to really listen to what the angels are saying, to listen to the guidance that is coming from the divine power.
That's correct. And also, we channel the pranic energy to help them relax and prepare them to receive.
Yes.
So, in your case, is there anything else that you recommend for them to help identify their soul purpose that you
Well,
normally suggest to people?
yeah, I think number one is start paying attention to what triggers you, and start paying attention to what excites you.
Mhm.
Understanding what is the purpose and the intention behind why am I feeling this way? What's the purpose of me feeling angry at this moment? Did something not sit well? What's the purpose of me feeling happy at this moment? What am I really excited about? What am I doing in this moment? Who am I being? Because at the end of the day, we are human beings. So we have to be first before we can do the action of doing. So really taking that moment and taking that pause to be like, asking yourself, for what purpose? What's the intention behind this? And
Mhm.
by figuring that out, you will start realizing what you really believe in. And then also, what is that big, hairy, audacious goal that you really want?
Mhm.
And are you in alignment with that goal or not?
So it's
Right?
like what you said, it's really important to find out whether the ego is aligned with the soul.
Yes.
Is how it's like when you say meditation is to really feel in how does your body feel? Does your body expands or does your body contracts, right? To see the difference whether you're following your ego or you're listening to your soul guidance.
Yes.
So, and it's a pretty much, this is like a journey. This is not like a one overnight you will identify your purpose because as we grow, our understanding of our soul purpose will also change as well. So, being flexible and adaptive is really important too, as well.
Absolutely. Flexibility is key.
Mhm.
Flexibility, adaptability is very important as we are evolving into our most higher selves. So,
So, it's
yes.
really good to be patient with ourselves and feel that
Yes.
compassion, right?
Patience and compassion are two most important things, along with many other things. But these, if you have patience for where you are in the moment, and if you
Mhm.
are loving yourself in the process by showing compassion, you've
Right.
already won half the battle in my books.
Right. And people can also volunteer because
Yes.
that can also reveal what their passionate is. And this is like a continuing learning. Like there's some instances wherein I didn't know that, oh, I love to do this. And it's like experimenting is also part of it, and see how you feel and also find out whether if that is aligned with your purpose. So that is, one of the things why having a purpose is important because you don't know how to align if you don't know why you're here, right? And how you set your priorities, if it is important or not, if it is aligned or not, right? Because if you have so many things going on, you keep creating and creating, but you don't know that it's not aligned, then it's going to be like a distraction. And
Right.
that's a lot of, well, it's part of growing, I know, and it's part of evaluating what is your value, what is your passion. And I think, that's part of knowing ourselves too. So,
Absolutely. So know your passion is really important. What are you passionate about? Because having something like having a hobby or when you're passionate about something, it automatically lights you up because that's where you turn your mind off and you
mhm,
open up your heart.
right.
So you're more able to come from a creative space.
And then another thing is to how to monetize the passion,
Yes.
to make it sustainable, right? Because a lot of times I can hear people, oh, yeah, I wanted to be an artist, but that doesn't pay, much money. So how am I going to survive?
Right.
And that's where the creativity comes from. And I can also consider myself an artist because healing is an art where I can choose different tools, different modalities, right? But again, how to monetize it, you bring it all together,
Exactly. And that's the art,
right?
right? It's bringing it all together. It's basically like creating a masterpiece, right? With all the different tools that you have. You don't know what the end result's going to be. You might be thinking, okay, I'm going to make elaborate Indian food,
Mhm.
right? And all the spices, but you don't know if you're going to be, what type of Indian food. Is it going to be North Indian, South Indian, East Indian, West Indian, right? Like we don't have, there's so many different opportunities, but only when you are consistent and you're following through is when you're going to get the end result, right? So it's having um, that ability to persevere and keep going and not giving up.
And also support from other people, because in my case I have a lot of teachers from different countries. I have coaches, I have friends, and so this is a co-creation. I'm not
Right.
like solo, because I learned a lot from other people and I share this knowledge with other people because I wanted to uplift the consciousness and the frequency of the collective,
Right.
because we are all as one together,
Right.
right? So if I help myself, I can help you and share it with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, that concludes our episode for today. If you want to know more about how to find your life purpose or your universal race, be sure to follow our website, book a call with us, and we'll be definitely here to support you on your journey.
So what will be our next episode next time, Michelle? What we'll be discussing about? It's something about joy, right?
Yes, something about joy and excitement.
So discovering the joy within us.
There we go. Discovering the joy within us is what we're going to talk about. So, again, if you like this episode, don't forget to like, comment, and
Subscribe.
there you go.
And we will see you next time.
Yes, much love.
Thank you for listening. Infinite gratitude and blessings.
Blessings.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.